G'day cocktail lovers. I make a lot of cocktails on this channel. My current rate of producing them is like about 150 or even more cocktails that are new to me. Sometimes they're just minor variations on cocktails I've had before. But there's a lot of cocktails, a lot of them are new. They're not all fantastic, but quite a lot of them are. And I like to keep a note of when I think, ooh, that's a contender. This might be the best new cocktail I have this year. For the second year, I've gone back through my notes and picked the ones that from the notes I took were some of the best of the year and came up with a top 10. The recipes for the whole top 10 will be in the description of this video, but I'm doing the top 3 side by side so I can decide on cocktail of the year. I've spent the last week or two remaking these 10 cocktails, tasting them side by side, doing comparisons, narrowing it down to the top 3, which was not easy because as I went through the 10, I went, yep, these are all bangers. But I came up with a final 3, and there's a bit of diversity between them as well. The top 10 as a whole was quite a mix. There was a clarified cocktail, a couple of originals, there were sours, there were stirred drinks. Bit of a surprise to me, 2 of the top 10 had port as an ingredient, but those are the things that happen. But we've got a top 3 to look at. The top 3 are a cocktail created by Simon Difford called Damn It Jimmy, an actual original of mine I call the Quadrant, and a classic, the Improved Japanese Cocktail. They're 3 quite different drinks, but all good, and I'll show you how to make them. For the Damn It Jimmy, we start with 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of sake. Then we add 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of white rum. Then 1/4 ounce or 7.5 mils of dry sherry. 1/4 ounce or 7.5 mils of dry vermouth. Rounding things out, we have around a bar spoon or 5 mils of sugar syrup. Add ice to the glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. And I'm straining that into a chilled Nicanora glass. Next, the Quadrant is 4 equal parts, starting with 3/4 ounce, 22.5 mils of an Old Tom style gin. Then 3/4 ounce, 22.5 mils of an orange liqueur. I'm using my homemade blood orange liqueur. Then 3/4 ounce, 22.5 mils of yellow chartreuse. And finally, 3/4 ounce, 22.5 mils of dry vermouth. Add ice to the mixing glass, stir that for 20 to 25 seconds again to chill and dilute the drink. And I'm straining that into a rocks glass over a big chunk of sexy clear ice. Finally, the Improved Japanese Cocktail. We start with just over 1.5 ounces, about 50 mils of brandy, then 3/4 ounce, 22.5 mils of lemon juice, and 3/4 ounce or 22.5 mils of orgeat, then 2 dashes of Peychaud's bitters, and 3 drops of saline just to bring those flavors out. Add ice to the shaker, shake that good and hard for 10 to 15 seconds to chill and dilute the drink. I'm straining that into a chilled coupe. I'm keeping these relatively simple, not putting garnishes, but if you want to know, for the Damn It Jimmy, the recommended garnish is 3 blue cheese filled olives, things I really don't like, so I'm not doing that. The other ones I'd probably just go a twist of lemon or a twist of orange peel as a garnish. But let's get into tasting. I think the Damn It Jimmy might be the most subtle flavour, so I'm going to try it first. And it really is good. I would not have predicted a sake cocktail would be in my top 3 for the year, but here we are. I even find this a little reminiscent of a martini. It's a very clean, bright taste to it. It's a really tasty little number. Next up, I'm going to try the Quadrant, my original creation. I came up with this, I was just looking for cocktails, and I saw there were a couple online called Quadrant. They didn't make sense because they weren't 4 equal parts, and I found that annoying. So I experimented with some 4 equal parts until I came up with this that I liked. It isn't really a last word riff, famous 4 equal part cocktail, because there's no citrus in it. I did even try a variation with citrus, but I preferred it without. So let's give this a taste. Yep, and this is a little bit sweeter than the Damn It Jimmy. The yellow chartreuse is one of the stronger flavors in this. I really like the balance of the elements. I think the dry vermouth was important to cut the sweetness of some of the other elements. Again, this is really good. I'm not always a fan of sours, but the Improved Japanese Cocktail really impressed me. Giving it another taste. And it's just that balance in there. Some sours, I really don't like it when it's too sour, too citrusy. And also when it's too sweet, then it's just one note. This one is quite harmonious. The brandy, the juice, the orgeat are working really well together. This is the sweetest of the three. Wow, it is really hard to decide which one's best. I did another round of tasting. As vain as it sounds, I think my creation, the Quadrant, is my favorite cocktail this year. My friend Charlie will be happy. He was backing this as being the best of the year. It is really good. I recommend you try it. And I won't be surprised if someone goes, you know, I just found a cocktail with that recipe. It's called the bleh. In my head, this is original, okay? But those three I think are fantastic. In fact, I think the whole top 10, which are in the description of this video, are just absolutely fantastic drinks. If there's any you haven't tried, I recommend you try them. I was pretty happy with the top 10. It was difficult to get a top 3, and it was really difficult to pick number 1. Last year, my favorite was Chocolate Sazerac, and it was way out in front. Bit more interesting this year. The calling was closer. But I'm happy with this call, maybe with all of these. I think it's been a great year in cocktails. If you've been around for any or all of it, I really appreciate you. And if this is the first time you've seen me, I hope you come back and see some more. And I'll be doing some more next year and around this time next year, trying for another top 10, top 3, and my number 1 cocktail of the year. For this year, it's my original creation, the Quadrant. Who knows what the future will bring. I hope you're here with me. But until I see you again, I'll say cheers.